In a world where action movies are made, not all action movies are created equal. Only the best make it into the Action Movie Hall of Fame.
Knock, knock. Can you fly, Bobby?
There can be only one.
And action. Hi, I'm Matt Brand.
And I'm Dereck Bordelot, and this week we're coming to you from the highway to the danger zone. That's right.
I just put danger zone into my Google Maps and hopped on the highway, and we are off to the danger zone. Welcome to the Action Movie Hall of Fame, where each episode we do a deep dive on an action movie. And at the end, we have to decide and we have to agree if the movie belongs in the Action Movie Hall of Fame. Now, it probably goes without saying, but there are going to be spoilers. Dereck, what movie is up for potential induction into the Hall this week?
This week's nominee is 1986's Top Gun.
That's right, because with Top Gun Maverick coming out next week, which we will be reviewing, we thought we'd take a look
excited
at the original. Let's check it out.
I'd like to bust your butt, but I can't. I got another problem here. I gotta send somebody from this squadron to Miramar. I gotta do something here. I still can't believe it. I gotta give you your dream shot. I'm gonna send you up against the best. You two characters are going to Top Gun. For 5 weeks, you're gonna fly against the best fighter pilots in the world. You were number 2, Cougar was number 1. Cougar lost it, turned in his wings. You guys are number 1.
That's Tom Cruise and Anthony Edwards getting chewed out by their superior, then getting good news in 1986's Top Gun.
Directed by Tony Scott, who's known for Top Gun, Days of Thunder, True Romance, Enemy of the State, Spy Game, and really just a bunch of other pretty good action movies.
Mediocre to great, I would say. Might be the scale.
Interesting.
Starring Tom Cruise as Maverick, Kelly McGillis as Charlie, Anthony Edwards as Goose, Val Kilmer as Iceman, Tom Skerritt as Viper, Meg Ryan as Carol, Tim Robbins is in this. I didn't even realize that till recently. And Michael Ironside as Jester, and probably a bunch of other people. This cast is stacked.
Yeah, and this movie had a budget. This shocked me when I looked at this week.
Yeah,
the budget $15 million.
That wouldn't even cover Tom Cruise's salary for one movie now.
No, definitely not. But
that's incredible.
The shots, some of the cinematography in this movie for 50. I was just shocked.
Was the Navy working for free?
Yeah,
it's like, come on.
This shocked me on the level of The Raid, finding out that it was $1 million.
Yeah.
But it was massive, gross worldwide, $357 million. It's got to be one of the most profitable movies.
It's basically the Blair Witch.
Right.
Rotten Tomatoes. This kind of shocked me as well.
Same here. Critics
58%, the audience 83%. That's quite a gulf, as they say in the industry.
I thought people loved this movie.
I thought so too.
58 is not a good score.
Well, people loved it. The critics.
That's true. That's true.
Just a reminder: we do have the movie on in the background on multiple screens, and we get easily distracted. It's 2022. Everyone gets easily distracted. We're no different. We'll try to tell you. We'll try to explain what we're seeing when we get distracted.
Especially with this movie, I feel like it's going to happen.
Absolutely. And rate and review. Give us 5 stars. Go click on the buttons that need to happen to do that. I don't know how to do that, but I'm sure you do, savvy listener.
And it must be working because we just hit 5,000 downloads.
Yes. I think listen, we got sound effects and stuff. So
thank you, and keep doing it.
Exactly. Thank you. So, Dereck, before we get into Top Gun, just quickly. Last week, Resident Evil did not make it into the hall. Any final thoughts on Resident Evil?
Not really on Resident Evil itself, but after doing a couple of Aliens that were mediocre and then Resident Evil, I was really happy to watch a genuine action movie. Like
Right.
just straight up. It felt good this week.
Right on. I hear what you're saying. My only parting thoughts with Resident Evil is that I don't think I completely, like listening back, I don't think I really conveyed that I hated that movie. Like,
No,
think
I
it was
agree. You
really
did not convey that.
I was kind of just,
We try to be pretty diplomatic on here.
try to be diplomatic, and then by the end I forgot to stop being diplomatic, and I kept being diplomatic, and then I just said no. I thought the movie was awful.
Awful.
I hated almost every minute of it. If not for the laser hallway and the demon dogs, I don't know what I would have done.
Well, they were in there, so it worked out.
Thank heavens. Okay, let's move forward. Let's put Resident Evil behind us.
Yes.
And let's go back even further to 1986.
Yeah. Things are weird. Oh no, satanic panic.
1986. Full disclosure, I was 6 years old.
Yeah, same here.
Easy math. Always love that.
Me too.
Right? Where
When did you see this?
Right. I never. This week. I think we discussed, like, leading into this episode that, we both had seen parts of it, but we hadn't seen the whole movie, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's like, I hadn't seen any of this movie, if I'm being honest now. Rewatching it, it's like I hadn't not watched this movie start to finish and probably hadn't seen most of it.
Yeah.
Knew nothing about it. So I watched it this week.
Yeah.
That's where I am.
Okay. That's pretty much the same with me. I had we both had a friend that I knew a little bit before you did, and who loved this movie. And hi Brooksy, if you're listening. So there was one time we tried to watch it at his house, but again, that's the closest I came. But there was a bunch of us, so you're never really sitting down and watching the movie front to back.
Yeah.
And just because of pop culture, I knew some of the stuff in this movie.
Right.
But like, I'm basically the same as you. When I started watching this and I found out Top Gun was a school, I was like, I had no idea.
Oh, Top Gun University.
I thought it was just a cool name, right?
TGU. Oh, well,
But did you know Top Gun was a school? Like, that's what they were doing?
No.
See?
Like, it kind of rings a bell, but I don't know if I'm just retroactively making it seem like I do. But here's the other thing, I guess. Maybe this is a better question since we hadn't seen it. What were your preconceptions of this movie?
Basically that it was a fighter jet movie.
Yes.
A good fighter jet movie.
But my preconceptions have always been like it was cheesy and the music was kind of like
yes,
bad.
yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah. Over the volleyball scene was something that's always popped up in pop culture.
And essentially, I think my fear going into it was that this movie was not going to hold up. Like, it was very much a movie of its time.
Absolutely.
So that's all I'm going to say for right now, and we'll get into more of it. Dereck, you've been tasked with the job. I don't know why it's you, but you have to give us what is the plot.
Okay. Bear with me here because this is a little lengthy.
Okay.
The best pilots in the Navy enter an 8-week training program to become better pilots. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, there is nothing else to this movie.
So that's interesting. And I can't say I disagree because I can't, because you're right. But
I mean, I could add who eventually get into a fight, right? But that's it.
and we don't even know there's going to be a fight till later. It's all about the school.
Well, I mean, it's alluded to in the beginning because they don't get into a fight, but those planes fly close into the airspace where they're not supposed to be.
Yeah, but we don't know that that's
going to happen again.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's no indication of that at all throughout the movie.
Do you smell that?
I don't know if I smell anything.
Really? You don't smell any steaks?
For this movie?
We might have differing opinions on this.
Okay.
So, steaks. Movies work better with steaks. You get your plate in the theater, and you just are banging away on that thing. No. Different stakes.
Different stakes.
You don't think there's any stakes in this movie?
The stakes are for him to be the Top Gun.
In case some of you wonder who the best is, they're up here on this plaque on the wall. The best driver in his reel from each class has his name on it. And they have the option to come back here to be Top Gun instructors. You think your name's gonna be on that plaque?
Yes, sir.
That's pretty arrogant, considering the company you're in.
Yes, sir.
I like that in a pilot.
Yeah, he does. We'll try to just somehow not draw any attention to the humongous leather couches they're all sitting on.
So squeaky.
Why are they so many? How do they even get all those couches in there? But yeah, those are the stakes.
That's the stakes.
However, I think there's more going on here. Personally, a few other things. I mean, these are not like the main thrust of the movie, but they're there. What they're flying are very expensive pieces of government property that we're reminded about. So
Yeah.
there is like just that side to it. Also, what they're doing is super dangerous. They're flying jet fighters.
Yeah.
Just the inherent danger in that.
Here's the thing. Like the stakes, when I said that there's not much stakes to this movie, there isn't, but that doesn't mean you don't feel them. Like
Right.
I want him to be Top Gun. Do you know what I mean?
And I think
it's not
oh, yeah.
it's not the stakes are essentially meaningless, right? It's just the movie is good enough that I want him to achieve that.
Yes.
That's all.
I would kind of compare this to like Twister, in that the stakes of the movie are not like the world's going to end. It's more personal. It's more character-driven stakes.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
about this character, really.
Yeah.
But it's also like, but the stakes change too. Is Maverick going to lose his edge after Goose dies? You know, so like Twister, this is a different movie. I guess all I'm trying to say is I appreciate that this is your different kind of action movie.
Yes.
It's not trying to save the world.
Lives aren't necessarily on the line.
Yeah.
I mean,
a couple lives here and there, but not like mass casualties.
Well, yeah,
We're not just wiping people out for no reason.
Yeah, there's no villain. There's nothing to really like taking hostages, for example. So it is different, and I do like it. I just meant that they are on a much smaller scale because
Absolutely.
it is just for this character mainly.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then it also changes in this movie, because then towards the end it's like there's pretty high stakes when they're in that dogfight, right?
Yeah.
And then also there's so much sweating.
So sweaty.
If the stakes weren't high, then why is everyone sweating so much? That's all I'm saying. On March 3rd, 1969. Opening scene. So it starts out with a little bit of history on the fighter weapons school. The Flyers call it
Top Gun.
Bong. I love that. I love these. I mean, say what you want about the music, but I love this part. I love this music.
There's parts of it that I actually enjoy, and I actually think the cheese factor of the music.
Yeah.
If we had reviewed this like 10 years ago, maybe 15, I would be saying
This is
really cheesy.
super awful. I hate it.
Yeah.
It's almost gone the other way now. It's been
Yeah,
so
the
long.
pendulum's kind of swung back, and I'm like, I kind of don't mind this stuff.
Yeah. I totally agree. And then so we just get like this opening frame. It's like we're on the aircraft carrier. We see the people working there. We see jets. It's kind of like a semi-wide shot. Like we're kind of close in, but
Yeah,
not.
it's like a medium distance.
And so we get like, it's kind of just two colors. There's like black and orange are kind of the two
Yeah.
shades.
I wrote down when I was watching this, I love this scene.
It's so good.
It's
Nothing's really well, stuff's happening, but it's like they're just showing these guys doing
I
their
love
job.
seeing these guys do this, and the way it's filmed with that orange background and stuff. Like you can picture that time of day or that type of day, a little bit of mist, fog, or whatever in the air. This scene was great. Like it's watching this, I'm like, I'm really into this already.
And then the gears change slightly at some point here as we start. The music changes quite dramatically. And you know what? It still works for me.
Yes, baby. Let's go.
We Google mapped it. We're already on our way to the danger zone. We used Waze.
Yeah, avoided all the construction.
Okay, let's just talk about it. What do you think about when danger zone kicks in? Let's not tiptoe around it.
Here, I loved it. I got to admit, I loved it. I think it happens like 4 times though, right? But I love. It works for this, like the taking.
Does work for this. I can't believe it.
That face was just. I mean, it works. It's brilliant.
I can't believe it's working, but it's totally.
It's
it blows
art.
my mind.
This is art. The
guy's doing the fist pump.
The guy dancing.
They're just doing their job. They just love their jobs.
But to your point, what we're watching is crazy. These planes taking off an aircraft carrier and then landing and getting hooked on that rope, like, that's insane. Like everything that goes into how they can do that.
And I think maybe a little reminder of the stakes.
Yeah, that's what I said. To your point,
dangerous. And then, so, I mean, also just like, there's a number of times we just hear the sounds of the jets. Just where they
amazing.
Jets are awesome. You just need to show them.
Yeah.
That's it. And also, like, some of the camera placements, like putting the cameras, like, underneath, and we see it kind of coming, like, taking off from the aircraft carrier or landing. It's like, it doesn't matter. If you have a static camera on the bottom of a plane, it's going to look awesome. Like, it's just going to look amazing, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
So, kudos for just, like, attaching cameras to different parts of the...
And basically making the plane's one of the actors. Like, it was just really well done.
So
we're still not in the danger zone yet. We're still on the highway.
We're very close, I think, because we've got some MiGs coming in here. So everything we just talked about was really just like the opening, like, title credits.
Yeah.
Which was a great start, and then we jump right into some action here. Did I just see?
You
Tim
just
Robbins?
saw Tim Robbins.
I think they're like the 2 seconds that he's in the movie. Like, they actually recognize him. I mean, when Derek says, "Look at that," we're watching 2 fighter jets fly over the sea. It's going to be really hard for us to describe.
Yeah.
So, but in this first scene, they have a run-in with some MiGs. They eventually go their separate ways, but one of the pilots, Cougar, gets rattled by this and has trouble landing.
Yeah, because one of the MiGs got him missile locked, so that freaked him out.
Yeah, that'd be a little scary.
I get it.
But we find out that Cougar loses his edge. He is able to return he's able to land the plane with some assistance from Maverick. I thought he was not going to land that thing. He was flip flopping all over the place.
I was genuinely concerned for Cougar and Merlin.
Totally. I thought that was going to end with a crash.
Yeah.
And then I was starting to think, how are Maverick and Goose going to land if there's debris?
I didn't get that far into the train of thought.
I was way down. I went way down the tunnel. Yeah, and that's kind of, I would say that kind of sums up the opening scene.
The only point I think in this movie that the flying doesn't look bad but good is when Maverick does the upside down. They take a shot from outside the plane and there's clearly something going on, because everything else in flying looks amazing, and that had this like fuzzy film to it, but it was still a pretty cool scene.
Altitude 8,000, 7,000, 6, we're at 6, man. Head forward, Goose. I can't reach the ejection handle. Goose, you have to put this out. I can't reach the ejection handle. Eject! I'm trying! Eject! Watch the canopy!
Goose is dead!
Poor Goose.
So.
That was rough.
It's here's the thing. We've had, I think this is like our third, or I guess fourth if you count the opening. This is like our fourth now flying scene.
Right. Yeah. We skipped over a couple.
And each one, we skipped over the first two. It's part of the training. They're kind of the same. And it would just be us trying to describe what we're looking at watching these planes.
Yeah. But they're both very good.
Exactly.
Don't misunderstand.
Yeah. So we're not going to get into watching each one of those in detail because what are we going to say? The planes look cool.
Yeah. The shots from the inside.
They do look cool.
They look really good.
In fact, they look amazing. And
I
so,
agree.
but we should jump back to something a little more, where there's a little more like character stuff going on. But so, how does this scene kind of unfold? They're doing another training thing. It's their last training mission for the for the
Top Gun
TGU.
I love it.
So how do things go awry here?
That's my question.
Well, there's the jet wash or whatever they
No,
call
but
it.
why was Iceman? Why didn't he fire? Because he wanted to win. Something like, why did he have to wait those 20 seconds? I don't.
To me, it looked like. Okay, that's a great question. So, what's happening in this scene is it's part of their training. Iceman is chasing down one of the instructors. They're trying to shoot them down. It's like their fake air battles.
Dogfight.
And Maverick is his wingman, so he's supposed to stay right next to him and not leave.
Yeah.
Which is what I've come to understand watching this movie.
Oh yeah, I know how to fly a plane now.
So I think what happens is it's like the same thing that happens every time I try to play any sort of like video game where there's flying involved.
It's just off.
I'm trying to turn and it's taking forever.
And they're just a little bit too far ahead.
Exactly. And I think that's what's happening here. Like Iceman is just slowly like cutting down on that angle, but there's no way to do it quickly.
Right.
I can never even understand like the kind of
physics.
Thank you. Behind flying these planes, like to me it's insane because you can't turn quickly. But
it looks so cool.
But yeah, I don't know. The pilot's but you know what I mean? I think he's just trying to cut down on the angle before he can.
That's what I kind of figured, and he wants to win, so he didn't want to get out of the way for Maverick to go. But I don't know. I just felt, I was like, why isn't he? And how did he know it was going to be 20 seconds and then he was going to be in? I don't know. But it's totally fine. I just feel like it just seemed weird.
Like, and this is the thing, like, we don't know the protocol, I guess,
or
the rules of engagement, as Viper likes to remind us, but Tom Skerritt. But yeah, is it uncouth to have the lead pilot go up and let the wingman take the shot? Like, I just don't know.
I think you would do it in a battle, but he wanted to win Top Gun school. Because in a battle, it's probably the right thing to do because you'd want to take out the bogey.
Right.
But they get into, what is it? Jet wash.
Jet wash, which this I didn't quite get because it seems like something they should know about. They're like, how could he know about the jet wash? But
yeah, they said he
know
could.
About, you would have. It seems if you're flying planes, it seems like it's something you should know about as a potential issue.
Yeah,
you're flying too close to something. Like I didn't understand how that worked.
No. Well, I basically envisioned just turbulent air that disrupted the engine. But I agree with you because at the court hearing later on, they said he couldn't have known or seen. But that's where I was like, well, he had to have known that planes create this, or unless it's only at certain times they create. I don't. So there wasn't. They basically just wanted the viewer to be like, oh, there was turbulence, the engine shut off, and it crashed. Just forget about it. Because I don't know what jet wash is. I mean, especially in '86, what are you going to look it up on your phone as you're walking out of the theater?
I guess not. It's 2022, and I didn't look it up either.
Me neither.
So we just accepted it. We had lots of questions, but didn't go any further than that. The other thing, maybe it's just best to not ask questions about this exactly because, okay, so Goose dies. They have to eject. How does Goose die? Like he hits like the glass canopy.
Yeah.
Like I get that might kill him if he ejected out of those seats. I assume they are going pretty fast.
Yeah, that's what I think.
But why does he hit it? Like I don't understand why he's hitting.
Yeah, I mean even Maverick says watch the canopy. So this is what I think. I think there's there's a line or the eject, they shoot the canopy off, and then you have to wait to pull your. No, that doesn't make sense. Because Goose fired out first, and Maverick said, "Watch the canopy." So it made me think that you could activate when your seat went, and Goose went too early.
Okay.
But that doesn't make sense because Tom Cruise said he was pinned and he can't reach his ejection. So that theory's out the window.
And I guess just more broadly speaking, my issue was just, wouldn't they design these things?
I was going to say that's a flaw in the design.
Yeah, which is not. And if that actually is what happened, then we know it's not Maverick's fault, but then we need to. Yeah,
Goose may.
We need to get these planes out of the air.
Goose may have saved many people's lives in the future.
These need to be grounded.
Yeah, these they have a design flaw.
Aside from the everything we just discussed, I mean, the other thing is how beautiful the rescue.
So good.
Like, first of all, there's like this dye that goes into the water that's like yellow or like a neon green.
Yeah.
And just that contrasted versus like the actual color of the ocean water is really cool.
Yeah, it looked really good.
Just Goose is so bloody.
Oh my god. And his limp neck was ugh.
I haven't seen a neck that limp attached to a parachute since Gary Oldman in Air Force One.
Yeah, that's about right. That was also a very limp neck.
You start to see things repeat themselves the more you watch these action movies. But yeah, and then also the helicopter like dropping down to get Goose out of the water, and it's a really wide shot, and you see like the circles forming on the surface of the water from the helicopter. It just looks, everything about it looks so good.
It looks so like
music's a little crappy, but it looks really, really good.
How did him dying make you feel? Because
it's not that sad.
That's interesting because I feel like this is the exact opposite of the movies that we've seen. He's a three-dimensional character.
Yeah.
He's funny. He's likable. Like even Iceman later on says everybody liked him. And I'm like, I could see how everybody would like that guy.
Yes.
And then they kill him off. And it's so much better than the last several movies we've seen where the people dying, you're like, I don't care. It's completely nameless.
That's true.
I think this is like a textbook version of like creating a character that you're just going to kill off.
Yeah.
He's like perfect.
It's true. Everyone does like, I mean, he does come off a bit like a 5-year-old sometimes.
For sure.
But so does Maverick. Maybe that's why they get along so well.
Yeah.
Anything else to discuss with the death of Goose?
We'd lose Meg Ryan for the rest of the movie.
Yeah. That's too bad. God, what a breath of fresh air she is. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen, this is Bullseye. The communication ship SS Layton has become disabled and has wandered into foreign territory. A rescue operation is to begin within the hour. Your mission is to give air support to that rescue. MiGs in the area. Tensions are high. If you witness a hostile
God, I just love that gong.
Return fire.
It's not the same.
Too harsh. Too harsh.
So yeah, we got our final dogfight, and what I like is we've been building to this, right?
Yeah.
It's been a nice actual progression. Like looking back on it now,
totally
a nice progression from the start of flight school. Starting out with a little thing with Jester and their cute little planes, and then you got a thing with Viper, and they got cute little planes, and then it's just everything. Every single flight scene, I think we end up like with 5 or 6 by the end, like individual, and each one's, I'd say, like better than the last.
Yes, they add an element each one, and I was genuinely excited. This was the first time in a while for a movie that I would like the final scene, the big climax of the movie. I was like, man, I can't wait. Part of the reason I haven't seen this in forever, had no idea what happened. I forgot what happened, but I was like, man, I really want to see this battle. And to your point, that was a good point. Like each one built up progressively to get what end up being probably the best dogfight scene.
One thing that kind of stuck out to me And it's like, it's a little thing, but in this final scene, certainly, like, you know, just from looking at a distance, which fighter jet is which fighter jet. Like, you know which ones are the MiGs, you know which ones are the F-14s.
That was really well done.
You know what I mean? And I love how inside the cockpit, when we see the MiG pilots, they'll have the same helmets, the same visors. There might as well be like stormtroopers.
Right.
They're
Or a different
indiscriminate
team.
from
Yeah.
one another. But I like that, just like bad guys.
Right. It's so simple.
Just
We don't
bad guys.
We don't even know what country they're from.
Exactly. We could presume, but we don't know.
No, we don't.
We find out there's like 5 of these MiGs.
Yeah, that was cool how they like hid in the radar. I don't know if that's possible, but it was a cool trick
when it just shows up behind them.
Yeah.
And just again, like it's hard to explain what we're seeing, but I will try, because this happens a number of times in this last scene where you see like 5 or 6. It's like a really wide shot. You see about 5 or 6 fighter jets, and it's just blue sky in the background. Excuse me, and they all just kind of like break off in different directions.
Yeah.
And all in completely moving completely differently, but all in the same like frame, and it's just kind of like thrilling to see them. It's like that would have to be really well choreographed.
I know.
And how they know how to do all that choreography in the frame where they need to be. Like, a lot of this stuff just blows my mind, how they made all of these scenes fit together and make sense
and make it cohesive. Yeah.
Yes.
Like, you can genuinely follow the battle from the beginning to the end. It's not confusing.
Like, even if you don't necessarily like understand, like, I don't know what their mission is going into it, it's like, it doesn't matter. When you're in the moment, it's like, you know who's behind who, you know who's chasing who, you know. And to your point, when they say like they want to turn right, and then they turn right, like, it's just everything like fits. You never feel like it's not just cool shots of jets flying by.
Yeah, it's not
to look cool.
Yeah,
it's like everything seems to be like for a purpose. You know, it's really good. It's like
very,
shockingly good.
It's amazing. And it's very cohesive. Like, from the beginning to the end, you get a full battle, and yeah, it's just I don't know how they did it, because it would cost so much money to do 2 takes, because you have to turn these like, look at that, the barrel roll off the aircraft
with the camera facing off the rear back of the plane. Like, it just looks so, everything looks so good.
And I want to stress something though, actually, that made this movie also really fun to watch. Turn it up. The sound of the jet engines is amazing.
Because, and listen, the music's a real thing, and it's there, but it's not drowning anything out.
No.
Like, it's more in the background here, right? So, just smart to know when to pull back on that music. I mean, because listen, they could have turned...
Danger Zone could have been going.
This could have been Danger Zone non-stop. Gosh. I don't know how they did this. And then, of course, like, without even mentioning, like, some of these planes...
Oh, that's so cool.
We're watching all the planes, like, breaking apart. Like, 5 of them on the screen at the time. People are getting shot, too. Like, they're shooting each other with missiles. Like, I kind of understood, obviously, partway through, like, okay, this is a TGU, but but by the end, they're actually like shooting each other out of the sky.
Yeah,
with, like, missiles. It's awesome, and better than I ever could have expected.
It's so much better than I ever expected. And there's a couple of scenes or a couple of shots. They're very quick, like when the from the inside the cockpits and seeing out the window, and you see the other planes in there. Like, how is that possible on $15 million? One of these planes probably cost like $30 million.
They must have had some sort of deal worked out. Like, I don't know.
It's incredible.
Was this good advertising for the Navy?
Well, that's
or something?
exactly it. This is a recruitment video, right? I mean,
you're not wrong. Do we have the stats on recruitment after this movie? Can you look that up real quick, Derek?
I'll see what I can find.
All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, it's time for our top 5. You know what? Let's do it. I thought we should wait, but let's just do it right now, Derek. We had some housekeeping to do. You did do some research on recruitment.
Yeah, I just quickly Googled
Recruitment, Top Gun.
research. So Top Gun effect on recruitment. So the year after Top Gun came out,
Yes.
so 1987, they had a 500% increase in recruitment at the Navy.
What?
And not only that, they put recruitment booths outside the movie theaters when Top Gun was playing.
Oh my god. Genius.
I mean, it's just what a market. Like just pure
Wow.
marketing.
That is you couldn't I mean, yeah. That's how that works.
People are on an adrenaline rush after seeing this in the theater.
I might go sign up for the
Right?
my application got denied. It is time for our top 5. Derek, first of all, a couple outside looking in, a few honorable mentions we want to get to.
Okay, so Maverick's is in the fight. He got disengaged and he got re-engaged in the fight, and there's a bogey on him. So, and he wants to bring him in closer. And let's hear what Tim Robbins what he thinks about that.
What are you doing? You're slowing down. You're slowing down.
Here it
Bring
comes.
him in closer, Merlin. You're gonna do what?
You're gonna do what?
He's concerned, a little concerned. You never.
So that was one of my outside looking in, and here's my last one outside.
I don't know if that deserved a fanfare now that I'm thinking of it.
Okay, that's fair.
No, I just mean because these are on the outside looking in.
I get it.
All right.
When Maverick is right before the final battle, he's going to his plane on the aircraft carrier deck. He shakes the missile like really hard.
I noticed that.
Dude,
Like you probably should be doing that.
I don't think so.
It's like I was thinking. I yes, you were so because I was thinking, what would a real pilot say about that?
Well,
Like you don't shake, dude. You don't shake the missile. Everyone knows you don't shake the missile
What if it fell off?
on your foot. What if it blew up?
It's crazy.
It's like, hey, Tom Cruise, just before you go get in, just kind of walk around the plane, just kind of feel it out. He starts yanking on the missile. No, that's not what we meant. There's no way that's what an actual fighter pilot
I can't
does.
imagine.
Just like, let's see if this if this missile comes off. If I shake it, like, do you want it to come off? Trust that your technicians do their job. A couple,
Maybe that should have been in the in the top 5.
my outside looking in, just the Top Gun hats.
Just say Top Gun.
Yeah, I want one. I'm sure they're out there now.
Oh,
Again.
for sure.
Because they're great. And then just when Maverick throws Goose's dog tags into the ocean at the end, it's like sometimes I see things in movies and I think that Tom Cruise is not of this planet. It's like he can't just simply throw something into the ocean. It's like it looked like he was trying to shot put it or something.
It was really awkward.
And it's only highlighted more because it's like a silhouette of his body, and it's like he can fly planes, he can do all this stuff in real life, but he can't throw a thing like a normal person.
True.
It's incredible. Okay, Derek, let's get into a real top 5.
Okay, my number 5.
Number 5.
Just honestly, we talked about it already. How sweaty everybody is. It seems like it's so hot there.
For some reason, I think I was kind of joking about it earlier, but I think it does amp up the stakes. Everyone's goddamn nervous.
I don't think it. I just think it's hot. That's why I liked it. Like you're on an aircraft carrier. I don't think they're pumping air conditioning in there. I think it'd be hot.
I just think the stakes are quite raised. But yes, great number 5.
Okay, number 4. After Goose dies and they're waiting, the helicopter's coming in. Tom Cruise, Maverick, covers his face from the rain that the helicopter is like the water that he covers Goose's face. I was like, that's a nice touch. There's the throw.
He used his entire body to throw the dog tags in the ocean. It's like an action figure that has like you squeeze its like pelvis and it does like spin motion torso.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. Sorry, totally distracted. You're number 3, Derek.
Number 3, in the bar scene where we get to meet Carol or Meg Ryan, and Goose is playing the piano. They only know the one line to Great Balls of Fire.
Are there other words?
They just keep repeating it over and over and over. It's really annoying.
Goose has been playing the song for 3 hours.
Yeah, it's just on repeat. When does this happen? Early on in the movie. Yeah, after the flyby. and the guy spills the coffee, which, by the way, I didn't realize the coffee gag, the running gag.
Oh, it's great.
It's pretty funny. But so he's in the office, he's yelling at Viper and not Viper and Ironside, and Stinger? I don't know. He comes out and he spills more coffee on him, and he yells, "I want some butts!"
It's so good, and I'm sure everyone is trying not to laugh in that scene. It's great. I want some butts! It's really funny. It's
really
legitimately
good.
funny.
Okay, number one.
Yeah.
When Maverick first meets Charlie, he refers to himself as a naval aviator, which I thought the 12-year-old in me.
Very strange. Very strange.
He
way to
just
say it.
flies around a belly button?
Good job, Derek. Good job on your top 5. Sorry. Belly button. Naval. I get it. It's funny you were talking about them getting yelled at. Just one little thing I just want to mention quickly. I love when it just like the camera's just showing Goose and Maverick standing next to each other getting yelled at, because it happens like 4 or 5 times, and they're just like taking it like it's like they have been yelled at a million times.
Just children.
They're huge kids. They're huge kids. Okay, good job, Derek. My top 5. Tom Cruise gets the date with Charlie. Maverick gets the date. If you were dating a fighter pilot, would you call them by their call name? I think I would. I think I would.
Yeah, probably.
That's all. He shows up late for his date, which I thought maybe the date was going to be over.
I thought that was it. Yeah.
But no, he does show up late, and he's like, "Well, I'm going to go have a shower." This guy's a psychopath. Following people in their bathrooms and like showing up late for a date, and like, I'm going to go have a shower. You're supposed to shower before you get there.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be part of the reason you might have been late. Okay. Number 4. Charlie and Maverick have their first night together.
Boom, 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 boom.
She wakes up the next morning. He's gone. Yes. He's left a little note folded up into a paper airplane.
Fighter jet.
Oh my god, I laughed so hard, and then I was rewatching again this morning, and I laughed again.
Yeah,
like
an origami fighter plane
again, to the point like these are 5-year-old children, all of them. Okay, my number 3. Goose has just died.
Okay,
it's been about, we don't know exactly, but I would say it's been maybe 30 minutes to an hour since he died. And Tom Skerritt's like, "Maverick, you need to get over it."
Yeah, he's dead.
You need to just get past it. Oh my god. Tom Skerritt, not super compassionate. I know what he's doing.
Yeah.
I get it, but you need to chill.
Can you give him a day?
Can you let him get some pants on? He's still in his tidy whities. He just had a shower after his best friend died. Let him get some pants on. Number 2. Speaking of Tom Cruise putting pants on, Tom Cruise playing volleyball in just jeans. What is going on? Why would anyone do that? And what was the point of that scene? Just to make him late for his date? Like,
I mean, I don't. It's just
so he'd need a shower
to show some.
Doesn't make any sense. And my number 1. It's pretty simple, but yeah, it's Goose's laugh.
The plaque for the alternates is down in the ladies' room.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, you kill me. You really do.
And that is our top 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, Derek, we're rolling along here.
Yeah, so what's next?
Well, I do have something. I don't even know if this makes a lot of sense, but
probably doesn't.
Thanks for having faith. Let's talk about our villain.
Oh!
You only knew the power of the dark side.
I'm a killer. I'm a murdering bastard. You know that?
I expect you to die.
This is more of a fun exercise. Is there a bad guy in this movie?
Well,
who's the bad guy in this movie?
It's funny because I was as I'm watching these movies, I try to think of some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about. And I was thinking the villain at one point. And the first half of this movie, I was like, is it the music? But
The villain?
Yeah. But then the music.
I like that's beside the box, yeah.
But the music grew on me, and I clearly now just straight up enjoy it.
Yes. Thank you for your honesty. Yeah.
I mean, I listened to the soundtrack on YouTube Music.
put it on.
Yeah. I mean, I skipped the love scene song though. That's just too slow. But the rest of it is really upbeat and fun. But they're not really like. I know we're supposed to say Iceman, but there's a couple of speeches that Val Kilmer gives to Tom Cruise, like, dude, you're a good pilot, smarten up.
Yes.
Like, you're better than me.
Thank you. So this is what I don't understand, because preconceptions coming into this movie, right? Like, we realized we had really not seen this.
Yeah.
And we all had preconceptions, and the whole Iceman versus Maverick thing.
Yeah.
It's like, first of all, we barely see Iceman fly. So we have no idea how good he is. Like, that shocked me, that I thought we'd have a little more like, here's what Maverick's doing, and here's
Right,
what
a little more
Iceman's doing.
head-to-head.
Like, none of that.
Yeah.
So that surprised me. But then I always, because I thought these two were like these huge rivals.
Right.
I didn't get any of that, other than like, Iceman's just kind of like, you need to be careful.
Yeah.
He wasn't wrong.
When we're introduced to him, he's kind of a dick. But that's it. Like, not even that bad. It's a huge competition between these guys. Most of them are going to be arrogant.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I didn't find him. I completely agree with you. I thought it was going to be like they were going to be at each other's throat kind of thing.
Like, he's mostly just like a Debbie Downer. He's kind of
Who,
just
Kilmer?
like, yeah. He's kind of just like annoying, and kind of like, he's the by the book guy. He's not the jerk that I thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's snapping his teeth at him. I mean,
yeah, and he says
they're having a bit of a tooth off at one point in the change room. But I think the real bad guy, Derek, if I may, if I can just carve out a second here, the real bad guy, it's the world we live in that requires us to develop armies that have fighter jets that we have to train these people to fly them, and then we're putting them through a terrible mental toll. What kind of supports are we even giving to them? Would they even seek the support if it was there? I don't know. What culture is the Top Gun flight school like? I don't know. I feel it's probably very male chauvinist. So this is the real bad guy in the movie. The culture that we even need to be fighting each other with fighter jets in the sky. That's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel better. I mean, I think it was obvious the answer here. Best death in this movie. MiG pilot number 2.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think, Derek?
Faceless, nameless. I mean, there's only one death, I guess.
And it's huge.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And it's a good death. It's a good death scene.
Yeah, it's Goose. The
It's
answer is
Goose.
Goose.
Yeah.
The answer is Goose. Okay, and then just one last thing.
Is that all you got, huh?
Is that all you got? Is that all you got?
Is that all you got?
Is that all you got? Is that all you got? Is that all you got? Is that all you got? Is that all you got?
Best scene.
Yeah.
What's the best scene in this movie?
You'd think it'd be hard in a movie like this, but obviously it's the volleyball scene. I mean, come on. No, it is hard though, because
Some of the sounds of the volleyball when they're slapping it around.
Why were their wrists all like and hands all taped up? Like, what kind of volleyball
They
were
were playing volleyball for hours.
It's got to be the final battle for me, the final dogfight. Not to say the other dogfights or fighting scenes were bad.
Yep.
This one just was built up perfectly well throughout the entire movie.
Yep.
Every one of these I felt was a good length. This one was, no different. It was you don't get bored watching these.
No.
And some of the explosions, like, we're not going to do best explosion because they're all pretty similar looking, but they looked good.
They looked real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was not easy decision, but pretty straightforward. I mean, it's the best dogfighting scene in a dogfighting movie. So
Yeah, I agree. I'm just going to agree. So, and then, now we can move on with our verdict. Oh, man. That music is tense. There's a reason. We have a big decision to make.
Stakes, that's the reason. Huge stakes right here.
Top Gun, 1986. I mean, does this deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? What we didn't mention in great detail is the acting and everything that happens between the great dogfighting scenes. So
Yeah.
where do you stand on this? How do you weigh this out? What are you thinking?
So talk about the acting first. I think the supporting cast that they put together for this movie is pretty spectacular. I think to me, the biggest issue with this movie is the relationship between Maverick and Charlie.
Yeah.
It's a weird relationship because they're only there for 8 weeks and like they go on one date and she's like, I'm falling for you. You're like, the timeline here, I don't know what's going on. I didn't really buy into it.
Me either.
But I don't think it's terrible. Like, it's fine.
We've certainly seen worse action movie romances.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the rest of the supporting cast, like the rest of the pilots, the instructors, they're all pretty great. Some of the pilots are a little wooden, but they're not in it enough to make a difference. But the instructors, Goose,
like Tom Skerritt,
Michael
Ironside, the bald captain who's just always like
just chewing
being
a cigar.
so mean. Like yelling at them, but also kind of being friendly and nice.
Yeah.
It's a funny
You're
line.
the best damn pilot I ever seen.
The funny line he's walking. Yeah.
But no, I think I'm just going to say it. Like, when I was going into watching this movie, I was on board with you, thought it was going to be cheesy, really worried about people who love this movie, and I'm just going to come out here and be like, yeah, this movie is not good.
Yeah.
But I am thrilled that this movie was like, I was excited watching these fights, like the dogfight scenes. I was super excited to watch the final battle. I mean,
sometimes I wonder if expectations have anything to do with our verdicts. So I took this. So it sounds like you're putting it in.
Yes, I'm a yes.
If I can read you for a second, I found this quote from Roger Ebert. Maybe you heard of him, movie review critic. He says, "quote The dogfights are absolutely the best since Clint Eastwood's electrifying aerial scenes in Firefox." I have no reference for that.
I'm sure it looks great.
I'm sure it's great, yeah. But look out for the scenes where the people are talking to each other, which I thought was kind of where we are with this movie. What you have to weigh, but the music is awful, but the music's also kind of great.
It's so weird. It fits the movie.
The flying scenes are breathtaking. Listen, it took me 42 years. I didn't get it. I get it now. Top Gun is awesome.
Top Gun is awesome.
Top Gun is awesome, and Top Gun is absolutely in our action movie Hall of Fame.
Yes.
No one's more surprised than me. I hope
Same.
it's not just our expectations going into it, because this is something that happened with Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Certainly wasn't excited to watch it. Certainly not a great reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, but amazing movie.
Right.
Just like this. Totally deserving. No one's more surprised than me.
I might be.
We're both surprised. Like, what else do we say? Who do we want to congratulate here? Tony Scott.
Tony Scott, for sure.
In memorandum, congratulations. Mediocre to great movies. We certainly have a Hall of Fame movie in Top Gun. Tom Cruise, congratulations, you're in again. Anthony Edwards, Goose, rest in peace.
Yeah.
But you'll always live on in Top Gun being in the Hall of Fame. Val Kilmer, Iceman, Kelly McGillis, Tom Skerritt, Michael Ironside, congratulate everybody.
Meg Ryan popping out of nowhere.
Give yourselves a round of applause. Meg Ryan, Tim Robbins. Just listen to these names we're saying. My God.
It's crazy.
I don't even know what else to say. Just rewatchable too? Can you see yourself rewatching this?
I could easily see myself throwing this on, like, while you're doing something, because you like Roger Ebert said, there's parts of the movie you don't even necessarily need to watch.
No.
The fighter jet stuff is enough.
But you know what? I think you watch the whole thing, because when the fighter jets do come on, worth it.
Yeah, it builds nicely.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right, Derek, that is it for this week's episode of the Action Movie Hall of Fame. Visit us on Twitter at ActionMovieHOF or at ActionMovieHallOfFame.com.
And don't forget to rate and review this podcast, and don't forget to tell your friends how much fun we have and how much you enjoy our movie reviews.
Don't forget.
Please, yes.
So, and we'll make sure the start of your week is always action-packed with a new episode out every Monday. Derek, we already mentioned it, but let's mention it again. What are we watching next week?
Next week, 2022's Top Gun Maverick! Burr, 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 burr.
Until next time, like Tom Cruise, keep fit and have fun.
Nice.
Thank you.
Happy trails, Hans.
Anara.
Court's adjourned.
Get off my plane.
Hasta la vista, baby.